So maybe you're looking for some microphone cable connectors or some panel mount style connectors for your platform or wherever you need them. And you're kind of confused by all the different brands, all the different options out there. One simple rule: if you just stay with Neutrik, you can't go wrong. They have a variety out there. And to be honest, I really love these little NC3 FPP connectors. One, they're really affordable. Two, they don't have those annoying little latches. Why don't I like latches? Because the people helping on stage plugging in things or taking things out, they're gonna forget to press the little button to unlock the connector. And that just kills the microphone cable when you get a big yank on it and it's locked in there. Now, there could be cases where you really want that microphone locked in there. It could be something that you really need for your situation, but for mine, I usually don't like that. Another thing you might find is such a large variety of these microphone cable connectors. NC3 MXX or the NC3 FXX, which is just the other side. So this is the F version for female. The other one is the male. That's the only difference there. Now you'll also see different models, and it's kind of confusing, but basically, if you want the black versions, you just pay like $1 more, and you get a black color one, which looks kind of cool, but I don't know if it's worth the extra price if you're making a whole bunch of these things. It's really unnecessary. It's exact same quality, exact same thing. Now, there's some other brands out there that are pretty good, like Switchcraft. This is a Switchcraft connector, and you can just feel it's really heavy duty. I think it's even heavier duty feel, at least, than Neutrik. But I have heard that people have said that once in a great while, they've seen one that's gone bad, which is a rare occasion, but they have never seen a Neutrik connector gone bad. Could be that there's someone out there. Please give it a comment if you've seen a Neutrik connector go bad. The only thing I've ever heard of happening on a Neutrik is that they roll something really heavy over it, maybe they drive over it, and it bends the whole entire thing a little bit lopsided, like it gets a little bit of an oval instead of a circle. That's basically the only thing I've ever heard gone wrong. So what's so important about the Neutrik connectors besides lasting a long time? I think something that's really important is the tolerances. I think you can see that the tolerances on these Neutrik connectors are really good. When you plug in a microphone or if you plug it into a panel mount connection, it just feels right. It goes in correctly, it locks correctly. And again, Switchcraft, another good brand. You try this connector, put it in the microphone, it feels excellent. It's not ripping apart the connector because it's too tight, for instance, and it's not too loose either. Here, let's try out this Chinese connector here. Let's see how that feels. And I'm having to jam that thing in there. I literally can't push it hard enough to get that there. It finally locked. Now, those tolerances don't feel good to me. I can imagine it damaging maybe the microphone. I could see it damaging maybe the panel mounts on stage or platform. And one thing, Neutrik doesn't offer their own branded Neutrik fully made microphone cables. So what you find yourself doing is you need to buy the Neutrik connectors by themselves and then buy microphone cable. Now microphone cable, there's a lot of stuff out there. It's kind of confusing, but you know, it seems like the most affordable one I find is the Redco cable. It's the Redco microphone balanced cable, and I think it's called the LO-Z1, LO-Z1 Redco cable. It's pretty affordable. It's only like 26 cents a foot if you buy a nice big spool of like 300 feet, and you can assemble basically your own little cables. So you just need a soldering iron, some solder compound, and you kind of watch a couple YouTube videos. I'm not that great at it, so you're better off watching some of those other videos on how to solder an XLR cable. But basically, you can save a bundle. I mean, talk about 26 cents a foot. You can make a nice 10-foot XLR audio cable with Neutrik connectors for maybe $8. It's pretty cool. So, and if you need a great big long cable or custom size cables, you can just keep going with that. Some tips I've seen online for doing these microphone cables is to use a little bit of heat shrink. And I find that the 1/4 inch or the 5/16 of an inch heat shrink tubing is a nice size to put on the microphone cable. And what you can do is you can put that heat shrink tubing at the end. So when you're going to solder that end on, you're going to prepare the end, you put a little heat shrink tubing on that very end of the cable where it really gets a lot of abuse, and it kind of makes it stronger. I feel like I could get away with a cheaper cable by having this end strengthened with the heat shrink tubing. Now again, if you're going for long distance in an area with lots of RF noise, you might need a little bit better cable, but I still feel that the Redco LO-Z1 cable would probably do the trick for you. And there's other stuff out there. Sometimes it's hit and miss. Sometimes you see some not so great quality stuff on Amazon and eBay, but you just kind of pick through all that stuff. You might want to find a name brand that other people recommend on the forums. Another thing, don't be getting a plastic thing to mount your panel mount XLR connectors on. They'll break in a month. What you and you know what, something annoying is online you'll find these pre-made metal panel mount connectors, but $5 just for the simple plate that's drilled for an XLR plug. If you get these little plate blank steel plates at Home Depot, you can spend like $1 or $2. So you can actually just drill these things out with a 24mm drill bit and a few little holes for the screws. So hopefully these little tips and tricks on XLR and microphone cables helps you out.